And so this is our study material folder. Okay. So here we'll be having access our data stage study material, Unix study material, and SQL study material. This is our self-learning guide. Okay. So it has total 137 pages. So if you are beginner in SQL and if you are from non-IT background, you are switching your career to IT. So you can go through this material and the pre-recorded sessions of SQL. Already the pre-recorded session videos are available in SQL. And anyway, I'll be covering on the SQL part in GCP BigQuery. Okay. So if you want to learn SQL, okay, so what you can do is, so in our channel only, what you can do is youtube.com by Jesse portal. Okay. So it will redirect to our YouTube channel and go to the playlist. Okay. So in the playlist here, you can see SQL for beginners. Okay. So here there are 10 videos. You can go through that. But anyway, I'll be covering this in the BigQuery part. Okay. In upcoming session. So I hope everyone has installed the VMware. How many of you have completed installing the VMware, DataStage VMware? So last week we have data warehousing concept session and DataStage introduction session. Okay. So how many of you have completed installing the DataStage VMware? I think Avinash is working on it just now. He has connected with me. Kalavati. So I'm waiting for your update. And
Today I can complete, sir.
Yeah, today you will complete. Madhavi, I think you have already
Yes, sir, I have
installed.
Yeah.
And Rishi already has
Yes,
the VM. And Rajesh had to install. I think Sindhu, you need to install on Mac. Right? And Siva Parvati. Okay, so even she needs to install. And Swapnil. So installation is done, I think. Okay. So those who are not. It's
Last
done,
time
right?
I have done that in. No, I am doing in that Ryzen one, but there that not supporting. So today I bring my laptop in morning only. So instead, I am doing the installation now only.
Okay,
It's
okay,
going
okay.
on.
Yeah, right, fine. So that's fine. So what we can do is, if you not yet installed, okay, so please try to complete the installation by today itself. Okay, so today onwards we'll be starting the practical sessions, practical lab sessions. Okay, so now we'll be taking one scenario like if you receive one work order from the client, how we can work with them. So from today's session onwards, it will be a scenario and requirement based on requirement basis. The session will happen on requirement basis. Okay. So what is the requirement basis? So we will discuss one by one. Okay. So just a minute. Yeah. So today we will cover only one topic. Okay, so that is sequential file tutorial. Okay. So this is web batch now. Okay. So the March 9th, where we started the batch last week, right? Okay. So today, 16th March, before Saturday. Saturday, 10 a.m. Okay. So today we will discuss about sequential file stage. Okay. So here, why we use sequential file stage? What are the options that we have for data extraction? Okay. How we can read the data from multiple files. Okay. So if we are extracting data from files, for example, business team has provided the file to you. Okay. So this is the work order. Okay. So here the work order is customer data. Okay, so business team has provided the file to you. Okay, so here what you need to do. So you need to load the data into a table. So that is my requirement. Okay, so source is file and target is source is file, and target is DB. We need to load the data into a table. Okay. So how to create the schema, how to define the schema, how to import the table definition for a file. Okay. And how the sequential file stage will help us handling multiple files. So that we will see in today's session. Okay. So now let's do our first assignment. So you have to log into DataStage. Okay. So here I have given the credentials. So here this is the way, click on the designer client, and I have shared the login details. So here you need to choose India PC. The default it will come India PC. 9443 is our server and IS admin. So this is our username and password. I have shared you personally. I'm not officially revealing here. And you need to choose the project, analyzer project, then click on OK. So already I have clicked on OK. So now here we are able to view the designer client. Okay. So now let's open folder. Click on folder here. Go to my computer C drive. So here in VMware we have only one C drive. Okay. So here we have only one C drive. So here my requirement is I have files for practice. Okay. So this is the files for practice. Generally, I will be providing for everyone for practice purpose. So here we'll be working with different scenarios. Okay. So if the requirement is this, so how we can handle this? So we need to take the source file from here and create two folders here. Okay. So this is source folder. Okay. So now I will create a new folder for weekend batch. So create a folder. How we can create a folder? Click on new folder. SOURCE source files. Okay. And similarly, let's create another folder for target. Okay. target files. Okay. So here, why we are creating files? We need to place the input in the source. Okay. So while generating the output, we are loading into a target files, right? So that is the reason here I'm separating source and target files. Okay. So here this is files for practice folder. So what I'm doing is here, I'm copying this. And what I'm doing, I will be uploading in our drive. Okay. I hope everyone will have access to this drive. So let's copy to files for practice here. This is the one. So now what I will do, I will upload it into our drive. Okay. So upload folder. Or go to desktop, files for practice. Okay. So you need to download this files for practice. Okay. So here totally I have 48 files. Okay. So now let's see our new file, new requirement, that is customer data. Okay. So here let's see. Yeah. So this is the file. Okay. So this file data. Okay. So anyway, I will upload here also. Whenever I am taking a new file, customer. Okay. So upload here. Okay. So it's a .csv file. Okay. So .csv file. What you need to do is you need to download this and copy it to VM. Okay. So here we have this file. I already downloaded. Now I am copying this. Okay. So from the drive, how we can download? Right click download option. Okay. Similarly, I want to download this particular files for practice. Download this. Okay. So download. So copy this customer file here and go to VMware. And here we have files for practice. Okay. So files for practice, what you can do here, can press Control V. You can copy paste it. Okay. So the file I have to copy from local to VMware. Okay. Similarly, here we have files for practice, right? So now what I will do, I will delete this. I will copy type it. Okay. For your understanding purpose. Okay. So there are students from non-IT background. For them, I am downloading this. I am showing them how we can move the file to from local to VMware. Okay, so I have done the extract. Okay, so here extract here. Click on this. So when I click on extract to this here, it has come a new yellow color folder. Okay, so click on that. So this is the files for practice. What you can do is copy. Okay, and then paste it here. Okay, so this is our library, data dictionary source file library. Okay, so this is files for practice. Okay, so whenever I am practicing anything, okay, so create two folders. Okay, so normally source and target I will create. So this is source, this is already for Feb batch, still going on. Okay, so it will take another 1 week to complete the training for February batch. Okay, and this is for target files. So similarly, I have created new files, source files and target files. Okay, so now here we have placed the customer file. Okay, so now let's discuss about what is a sequential file stage. Okay, so here our requirement is we need to pull the data from file and load it into target DB. Okay, I am creating a fresh new job. So this is our first assignment. What we can do is click on new. Okay, so click on jobs, parallel jobs. So individual jobs, when we move the data from source to target, we'll be using parallel jobs. And running multiple jobs, one after the other, all the jobs at a time, we'll be creating sequence jobs. Okay. So this we have discussed in last class session, on Sunday session about data stage. So there you have to go to that recording, what are the different kinds of jobs. Okay. So now let's see here, click on parallel jobs and maximize this. And here we have a palette. Okay, so here this is a job palette where we have all the tools and all the supporting options. Okay, so here press Control L. This will be won't open. Okay, so Control L plus it will open. Okay, so now repository. What is repository? All the information that is required to build data warehouse. That is the repository. Okay. So here we have different folders here. Okay. So when you are working with VM for the first time, what we need to do is you need to create one folder under jobs. Okay. So here this is December batch jobs. January I have deleted. And this is a February. Currently, we have done almost 60 plus exercises. 62. Okay. 64 exercises we have done. And still one more week is the training for them. So we will cover almost 75 plus assignments. Okay. So like that, let's create one folder here. Okay. So for you, this folder will be empty. So here you can create one folder with your name or any name. Okay. So that is up to you. Now I am creating a new folder that is March MAR 24 weekend. So this is weekend batch. Okay. Weekend batch. Okay. Whatever the jobs that I am developing, I am storing here. Okay. So now let's create a first new job. Okay. So here what is our requirement? Our requirement is extracting data from source file and loading into loading into target database. Loading into target database. Okay. So this is our requirement. Okay. So suppose the user has given the file to you. That file I have shared here and placed here in this folder. Okay. So now let's define the job. Okay. So whenever if you receive the file like this, okay. So this is a comma separated file. Okay. Comma separated file. Okay. So whenever you receive the data like comma CSV file, dot CSV file, dot txt file, okay, dot psv 5 plus separated file, okay, dot dat file. So if you receive this kind of file format, okay, having having delimiter, so then use sequential file stage. Then use sequential file stage. Okay, so that is our requirement here. Now let's see. Now, new job we are going to create. Now go to files. Okay. So here we need sequential file stage. Just drag and drop. Okay. Just drag and drop sequential file stage. Okay. And the next one is drag and drop database. Oracle connector. Drag and drop Oracle connector. So here we are using Oracle DB. Okay. So I will be sharing the video on how to install SQL DBs. So here our VM comes with default two databases. One is DB2 and Oracle. Okay, so here we'll be using Oracle and few exercises also we can use DB2. Okay, so here what you need to do, you need to install SQL DBs. Okay, so these are already existing tables that I have created for my training purpose. Okay, so here I will create one new table. Okay, during the runtime. So that and all I will show you how we can create a table and all. So now the next step is what you need to do is go to processing. Okay, so in the processing, there you can drag and drop transformer stage. Drag and drop transformer stage. Okay, so drag and drop transformer stage. Okay, so now let's make a connectivity. So how we can make a link connectivity? So there are two ways. One is go to general, click on link, right click, drag and drop. Sorry, left click, drag and drop. Left click from the mouse, drag and drop. Other one is right, just click, just put the mouse there, just in the, don't click on that, just put the mouse there. Right click, drag and drop. Right click, drag and drop. So that you have to do. Okay. So now double click on this sequential file stage. Now we need to define the files. Okay. So now let's discuss the properties, okay, of the sequential file stage here. Okay, properties and the importance of each file. Okay, so here now let's see what are the features of sequential file stage. Okay, so let's go to the material here. So partitions, these and all we have discussed in last session. Okay, so this is about sequential file stage. Let's. So sequential file stage. What is sequential file stage? What is the main purpose? So here we have discussed sequential file stage is to read and write the data in a file. Okay, the file may be text files, .txt files, okay, CSV files, PSV files, okay, dot files, and fixed width files. Okay, so we'll be reading and writing the data into this sequential file stage. So here each file stage here, we will be having one input link and one output link for sequential file stage. Input link is one, output link is one. So it supports single input link and single output link. One reject link that is off. One reject link that is off. Okay. So the default execution mode of the sequential file stage is sequential mode. The default execution mode is okay. So here, what is the default execution mode? And what is the parallel mode? Okay, so here sequential mode is running the data in a single node. Okay, so in the last session in the data stage theoretical part, we have discussed we will be divide the data into partitions. Okay, so here we can see different partitions. For example, here, let's see this partitions here. Okay, so here I have input 16 records. Suppose my job is running in 4 nodes. I am distributing the data into different nodes. Okay, so that is parallel mode. So what is the sequential mode? Sequential mode is only one node. We don't have partition these things. Okay. So here default sequential mode comes with default execution mode for a sequential file stage comes with sequential mode. Now where we can see this in this sequential file stage, go to files, go to stage here, you can see default is sequential mode. Okay. So now is that possible to that we can convert into parallel? Yes, we can convert into parallel. That we need to change the option. Okay. So here it runs in default in sequential mode. How we can convert into parallel? By reading the multiple pattern files. For example, I am reading the data from file pattern. So here, if you see in the properties here, specific file. When you are reading data for a specific file, then we will be considering as a sequential mode. Okay, so specific file you can see here. Now I want to read the data from pattern. Pattern means what? Pattern means, for example, I am receiving the data from multiple files. So here the data will be like this. Data file name will be like this. Employee data with some number. Okay. So what is the number? 20, 2024. Let's yesterday's date. 03. Yesterday this is 15. Okay. .txt. I am receiving another file. The same pattern. 14. Okay. So here, if the multiple files that we are going to receive EMP after some date is there, then we can call EMP underscore data. Okay. So then we can use underscore star dot txt. Okay. It will read after underscore what is the number before dot. All files it will read. So that is a pattern. Multiple files that we can read. So when we read file pattern here, you can see the mode. Mode has been changed from sequential to parallel. Okay. So these are very fundamentals. In interview, they will ask these kind of small questions. Okay. So you should be able to answer and communicate effectively in the interview. Okay. So now what is the next other option where we can convert into parallel? This is reading file matter. This is one method. And other method here. By using read from multiple nodes. Okay. So let's see that option here. So now I don't want to read from multiple pattern. I want to read from a specific file. Okay. So here we have the options like first line is a header. First line is a column name. For example, when I see the file, whether you need to check the first line is a column name or not. Okay. So this is customer data file that we are going to see now. Okay. So now let's see. Let's open this file. Okay. So here we have first line, here we have the data. Okay. So here website, all the information about the customer. Okay. So here first line is a header, first line is a column name. Okay. So that is the reason here we'll be calling it as a first line as a column name. So whether it is false or true. If the first line column name is present, then set to true. And keep the file partitioning. So when you set to true, we can read the data into parallel mode. Okay. See here. Okay, so partition, then you have to define the nodes. Okay, so now go to options, read number of readers per node. So if you give two nodes, then what happens? It will convert it into, from parallel, it will convert, from sequential, it will convert into parallel. See? So I want to read it in one node. Let's see here. I'm giving one. Let's see what happens. Okay. So now sequential. So if it is one node, sequential. If it is four nodes, now let's see, I want to run, call it in four nodes. See, now it has been converted into parallel. Okay. So that is the second option where we can convert from sequential to parallel. Okay. Number of nodes, read from multiple nodes. So first option, I mean A and C we have discussed. Read from multiple nodes option, default it will be no. If you change to yes, then it will convert into parallel. Okay, so now let's see that option. Okay. So let's delete this. Okay, so read from multiple nodes. Default it is n. So here I have given n. No, n means no. Okay, so that means sequential mode only. Now I am converting this one into multi yes. Now let's see this option. What happens here? Parallel. Okay. Okay. So this has been converted into parallel. Okay. So that is the option. And if you read multiple files, then automatically it will convert it to parallel. For example, I'm calling multiple files. For example, here, let's see. So I don't want this also. Now I'm reading data from multiple files. So let's define this file one. Okay. Go to browse for file. Multiple files we can read. Okay. So now let's go to source. Let's go to here. Okay. Customer data. Okay. And go to files here. So now let's see here. Now it's a sequential mode. Okay. So now I will be calling another file. Okay. Browse for file and it's call the same file. Okay. So now let's see here what happens. It has been converted into parallel. Why? We are reading two files. Okay. So these are the options. Okay. Now I am deleting one. And here missing file mode, we have option depends. What does it mean depends? That we need to discuss now. So here default sequential file. Okay, so here we have this option, right? Depends when we use depends. Okay, so here we have the option depends. Depend means always what is the file name that you define here? The same file should be available in the source. Then only our job has to run fine. Okay. So error means what? Error, if you give error means the file name is not matching. If the file is not present, then job will abort. Okay. And we have other option okay. So what does it okay means? If the file is not present, okay, if you give means skip. Even though the file is not present, you are giving the green signal to run your data stage check. Okay. So okay option is very dangerous here because zero records will be loaded. There is no point of loading the zero records. It's honestly time waste. Okay. Always recommendation missing file mode use depends. Depends means exactly should match. Okay. So for example, here daily I will receive customer data file like this UST OMER customer underscore data dot txt. If tomorrow, if I receive the file name like this, okay, CUSTOMER data dot txt. So if it is like this, what happens? The actual file name, all are in small letters, actual file name. Tomorrow, if you receive this file name, it won't be processed because we have to get the same file name. That prefix and suffix should match. Okay, so that is the reason here we are giving depends so that all will, I mean, like smooth transition of data loading will happen. Okay, and here we have reject mode. So what is the reject mode here? So normally sequential file stage does not support rejected null data. For example, I have null values in my file. So normally it won't support sequential file stage, won't support null data. Okay, so here default it will not allow null values. To handle the null values, there is an option. We need to null field value, we need to set it to nullability single space, and nullability we need to set it to yes. Okay, so when I want to handle the null values, that during that time, what we can do is we can set this nullability to output. Okay, so continue means what? Continue means even the nulls are there, let's move to further. Okay, ignore the, I mean, like continue the null values to load into next processing stage. Then move to the next, even though there are some bad records coming, that you are sending a green signal. Okay, let's load the data. So continue, you're giving the green signal to load that bad data. And failed means if there are any null data is that we are going to receive. I mean, any rejected data that you are going to receive. In that case, we can fail the job. Okay. And here output is to capture the records in the output file. So here we have option rejected data that we can handle. Okay. So we'll see in another exercise how we can handle the reject. So at present, give the option continue. And here progress interval, give yes, because you will be handling all the log information, log related information in the log level information in the data stage job log. So give yes. Now let's go to format. Okay. So here there are two types of delimiters. One is record level delimiter and other one is field level delimiter. So now let's discuss what is the record level delimiter. Now go to files for practice. I will show a sample file here. Okay. So here you can see EMP underscore comma. So here I have clicked on department at the end. And if you click on arrow button, next arrow button, it is going to the next line. So that means the record level delimiter is getting ended over there. So if it is ending over here, then you can consider the final record level delimiter is ending. And field level is like column to column. So this is one column and this is another column. So here separator is what is the data type that we have to give. We are extracting data from a sequential, I mean like .csv file. Then we have to give the delimiter is comma. Say comma separated value. And it sequential file stage supports other delimiters like this, like none, nothing is defined, none, end. Okay. In case of any space, for example, here I have a data. Okay. So here is there any space data to data. For example, Ramu, Hyderabad. Okay. So here space is there. So this particular space, we are calling it as a one delimiter, white space delimiter. And comma is there. And sometimes we have pipe delimiter is there. Okay. So altogether, what is your delimiter that you need to define in the job. So when it is a comma separated value, it's a delimiter is comma. And here we have other options. Okay. So if it is a pipe delimiter, then if it is other delimiters, the file is other delimiters which is not listed here. White space, null, none, okay, comma, tab. So tab is like tab to tab space. For example, here, Ramu, okay. So press on tab button, okay. Adra. Okay. So now other records, Suresh, Bangalore, okay. So this is a tab is the delimiter between two fields. Okay. And here, if it is not listed, no, then we have to enter our other delimiters, which is of not of file. Then double quotes. So here quotes, here we have single quotes, double quotes, none. Okay. So what if any string data type is there? If you have quotes like this in the file, then you have to mention the quotes as double then. Okay. For string data type. If we don't have that, then what we can do is like we can give delimiter, I mean the double quotes, none. Or if you have single quotes, you can give single. No, none. Okay. And delimiter is comma. Okay. So our file is comma, right? Then the next step is importing the table definition. Okay. So till now, any doubts, guys? Till now, any doubts? Are we good so far? Till now, any questions? Only I'm only speaking.
No, sir.
Okay. What about this only? At least respond something like able to follow or chat something. I'm not getting any response, guys. If it is like this, I cannot continue. I need response from you. Avinash, are you able to follow? Let's take attendance. Avinash, are you able to follow? Kalavati, Madhavi. Any questions so far? Rajesh? At least you can type something in the chat. Hello?
No questions.
Okay. What about this? Shiva Parvati?
Yeah.
Okay. Swapnil?
Yes, sir, able to come.
Okay, right. Okay, so if you are unable to understand, if you are unable to follow anything, so you can ask me in the middle, okay? So the session should be very interactive, okay? So that then only we can learn something. So that is my motive, okay? So here I am here to teach you, share my knowledge. So that is going to help you in your workplace, in your career growth, okay? So that is only my motive, okay? I want everyone should be follow the each step what I am teaching. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. So where we are. Okay. So and let's discuss the and we can work with the Unix commands in sequential file stage. For example, I want to filter something, data filter. We have filter option, and I have provided column names that also I can provide. Okay. And we have other features like defining schema. Okay, so if you don't define the column names by providing the schema layout, with that also we can achieve this. Okay. Yeah. So now let's see here, null field value. So as I told you, null data won't be accepted by sequential file stage. If it is a null data, so that won't be accepted. Okay. So null data won't be accepted. Then how we can handle the null data? we can handle the null data. We need to set the nullability to yes and null field value single space. So in the field defaults, what we can do is null field value single space. We have to give. Okay. And here we have columns. Now click on load. Now we need to define the columns, right? So here we have lot of columns in this customer data. Okay. So what you can do is click on load. Okay. So here it will redirect to metadata. Now go to table definition. Okay. So here already we have existing sequential file. Okay. So now let's delete everything here. So the reason I'm deleting is I want to show you how this the import in the table definition. Okay. So here there is no manual entry. So if there is 20 columns, here you have to enter column name and whether it is a key field or not, and what is the SQL type. So those things here we need to add. Okay. So if it is more than uh, 5 columns, below 5 columns, you can enter manually. If it is more than 5 or 10, then it's not possible to enter every time. Okay. So here orchestra schema also, let's delete this. Okay. Okay. Cannot be deleted. Okay. So anyway, we'll continue. So click on table definition here. Okay, click on low. It will redirect to repository table definition. Okay. Now from table definition, right click, import table definition. We are dealing with the sequential file stage. Then open sequential file definition. Okay. And here go to the directory where your file is located. Directory is where your file is located. Click on that. Okay. So our directory is located source files. Click on it. Okay. And we need to consider all files. Okay. So here, if it is text file, you can click on text file. If it is a .csv, if it is other format, give all files. It will show the list of all files here. Now say comma customer data .csv. Now click on input. Okay. So first line is a header. Okay. So here column name is, delimiter is comma separated. Okay. So now let's define. Field 2 is, so here some file has some issues. Some issue is there with the file. Okay. So now underscores are not allowed here. Okay. Now what we can do? For example, this is the file that you received from the customer, and he needs the data in a table, so that you need to do some validations. Okay, by writing some SQL statement. Index column, give some index IND. Okay, so customer ID here, it's okay. Customer ID. So here customer underscore ID. First name. Okay, so first underscore spaces and spaces and are not allowed. Okay, so first name. Okay, last name. See here. Space is not allowed. Last underscore name. Last name, company, city, country, phone number underscore space is there. See here. The space should not be there. Okay. And similarly, email, subscription date. See here, subscription date also here you can see. Just underscore. Okay. So now save this. Yes. Click on save. Okay. So now it has been changed with the new time. Okay. So now let's import the table definition. So go back. Okay. So now click on here. Import table definition. See now underscore everything is reflecting. First line is a header. Now define. See here, the columns will come with the grid. Okay. So here, first line. So here, based on the data type, it will scan the entire data and provide the respective data type. Okay. So based on the requirement. Okay. So if it is all numerical data, then it will be integer. And what is the profiled length here? Okay. So it has some displayed number 1. Okay, so you can give length how you want. Okay, so let's give some 2 or 3. Okay, and here we have customer ID varchar 15 is there. First customer ID. So let's give 15 only. Okay, and here first name 8 is there. Let's give 10. Okay, so let's make round up. Okay, and here first last name also 10. Okay, so here displayed length is the profile length. Okay, it's maximum length for each column it has taken. Okay, you can enter more than that also. That is up to you. So 29, let's give 30, worker 30 for company. And city 18, let's give 20. Okay. And let's give country 20. Okay. And 25 here. Phone number. So here also 19 is there. Let's make 25. And email ID 32 is there. Okay. So let's make 40. Okay. And similarly, 10 is the subscription date. Date, you need to, no need to mention anything. So that is system default. Okay. And website here, 29 is there. So let's make 50. Okay. So give the length greater than the display length, or you can give the same is also fine. Okay. So now click on OK. Once you click on OK, it will start importing the table definition. Okay. So now click on close. Now we can see the sequential file again. Okay. So click on OK. So here again, so if you want all the columns here, click on all the columns here. And if you want to remove any specific column, remove like this. I want to remove all. I want to add all. Okay. So click on OK. All the columns here. For a file, you have to enter all the columns. Now let's view the data. Practice on daily basis. Okay. So in weekdays you have time, right? Like at least daily 1 hour you can practice. Okay. So there is some issue here. We found that view data server command like to. Okay. Let's see here. So there is some issue happening. Okay. So what is that issue? So here date format was different, but this does not match. Okay. So if it is data stage format is y by y hyphen hyphen dd. So, but date we are receiving like this. Now what we can do is for date column we can give as a varchar and give 10. Okay. And we are handling the null values here, null field values. Then nullability you can set it to yes. Okay. Click on yes. Nullability set it to yes. We need to handle the null data, right? Okay. So now let's view the data. It's in processing. See here, we are able to view the data.
That separate column, why it is taking mail ID or some different values? Like it's in the file only, right?
Yeah, it's in a file only, but we are able to view the data. Here some data is getting overlapped here. Some issue is there. Here subscription date is moving because of improper delimiter. See here, phone number place, because there will be comma. Okay, it is moving. If it is a comma, then it is moving to the next line. So there are some issue in the file. Okay. So anyway, we will load this. So now click on OK. So click on OK. Copy this and paste it here. Okay. So click on OK. So here transformer is like drag and drop the fields. Okay, so what we can do? Control A, what are the fields you want? Drag and drop to the output. That's it. So now let's define the Oracle connector. So here you can see, we have to enter server name, username and password. So there you go. 1, 2. Okay. So here I have shared the login details also for database. Okay, we have to change the password. So let's enter the table name customer, customer, customer data, DATA. Create the table. So here table action is multiple options are there here. Append, create, replace, truncate. So append means already table is there, we are appending the data. Create means table is not present, we are creating the runtime. Replace means already table is there, drop the table and recreate the table with the new structure. Truncate means table is there, delete the data, insert the new data. Now let's create the table during the runtime. Okay. So now let's click on okay. Now let's save this table. Okay, go to files, click on save. So this is our first exercise, right? VE exercise 1 customer data. Customer data. Okay. Customer data. Give some name, okay. So click on save. Compile. So here I have click on this compile button, this blue bubble sheet. Now click on run. Okay. So here run, this is the compile button. Okay. You can see the block compile and run. So compilation is done. Let's click on run. Okay. So I want to see the log. Press Control L. Okay.
What about the parameters here? I want to provide the parameters.
Yeah, parameters we will discuss in another exercise. So here inconsistent constant on the number. So there is an issue here. Constant on the number of partitions of a separation. So let's instead of loading the data into a table, let's do one thing. Let's load it into another DB. We will handle later. Okay, so let's load it into another file. So here let's define into target. Okay. So now go to target here, target files. See here give some the name CUST custom data dot CSV. Okay. So here, define the rest of the options. First line is a column name, define the same. Rejects, continue. And coming to the format, comma separated, double quotes, none. And null fill value, single space. Okay. So, click on OK. So here VM comes with this error is due to like it can handle only SQL debugs handle only. It's a free trial version, right? It can handle only 200 records. So the file has more than 1000 records. I mean 1000 records for it. So that is the reason job aborted. So I used here file. Okay. So now if you see the target file here, target folder file. So this is our target path, target files. Okay. Nothing file is there now. Now let's run this job. Let us check whether we are defined correctly or not. Comma separated. Okay. So click on okay. Numbers will give you float. Okay. Click on okay. Save, compile, and run this job. So here data got loaded. Okay, so here some warnings we received. That is data truncation errors. But anyway, data got loaded. Okay, so let's see the output. Okay, so this is the output. Okay, so we will see one more file. Okay, so here let's take our original file. So this is an example. Another example we'll see. Okay, so let's take a new exercise. So now let's go to our dictionary, files for practice. So let's take this pipe delimiter file. Copy this pipe delimiter file and paste it in source. Okay. Now sequential file is output. I mean, let's use another file here.
Sir, one question is there. Like in the last job, we are not doing any transformation, right? We are simply loading the data from one file to another file.
So, yeah.
So is it possible that we can't use the transformer and directly load the data without transformer from one file to another?
So yeah, we can load.
Okay.
Yeah, we can load. That also we'll do now. Okay. So here we'll be loading data into file set and data set. Okay. I will use copy stage, another exercise.
But you say now there are only one input link and one output link, and optional is a reject link for sequential file.
Yeah. So that we will discuss. Okay. So here, can't we do this directly? Okay. So this is the question. So without this, can we do? Okay. So This can be deleted and we can load the data, dump it into file to file. Okay, so we'll do this later. Now I am creating one file data and loading into multiple files. Okay, one is file set, other one is data set. Okay. So what is file set? What is data set? We will discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay. So this is the input file. Okay. Now let's make a connectivity. Right click, drag and drop. Right click, drag and drop. Right click, drag and drop. Okay. So now let's define, let's take a comma separated file where we put, pipe delimiters. Go to, we have copied one file, right, from files for this one, this file, EMP file. Okay. So here first line is a column name, true. Okay. Next. Rest of the options are default. Okay. And here pipe, double quotes, none is there, null field value, single space. Okay. Now let's define the metadata for this. Okay. Click on sequential file. Import table definition. EMP pipe, import. So it's a pipe delimiter file. Enter pipe here. Shift, press on shift and enter above one button is there, right? So that is the pipe. First line is a header, define. Okay. So here length, this you can modify the length here 4, 5. See here 6. Give the length, maximum display length 9. And this is 4. And this is date. Date not required to define anything. Okay. And here you can see salary 4. Commission 4. Department 2. And nullability can set it to yes here. Okay. So this is the way to import the table definition. Nullability to yes. Okay. Now click on OK. Click on close. Now here you can see this has been imported. Now click on OK. Again, click on OK. View the data. Okay. So here we are able to view the data. Okay. Now click on close. Again, click on OK. So here copy stage purpose is to copy the data from single file to multiple files. Okay. So copy stage, let's see this copy stage. So here we are copying the data from one file to multiple files. Where is the copy stage? Okay. So here we are loading into one file. Okay. So like let's consider sequential file, sequi file. Okay. And this is data set. Data set. This is file set. Okay. So here we are setting this true to specify data stage should not optimize the job moving the copy operation. So here, if you specify for false means, it will dump the data without any optimization technique from one file to multiple files. Okay. So now let's see. So here this is the go to output. Okay. So input, we have only one file, right? Output, we have 3 output files. Okay. So let's drag and drop. and second file. Just Control A, drag and drop. Okay. Another one is file set, Control A, drag and drop. Click on OK. Okay. So we have defined the three output links metadata. Now, so now we are going to load the data into text file. Okay. So here, let's load it to target. EMP underscore EMP data dot CSV. Okay. First line is a header. Okay. And null field value single space. Enter the null field value single space. Double quotes, remove. Click on delete option. It will be deleted. Go to columns. Click on OK. Now, so here data set represented with .ds. Okay. Just give the file name. That's it. We will discuss in detail level about what is data set in tomorrow's class. Data set. EMP data set .ds. Okay. Now file set. This is also represented with .fs. So we will discuss this in detail level in tomorrow's session. Okay. So here file set. This is file set, right? EMP underscore file set .fs. Okay. So now let's see. So here nothing to define. Give the default option. We'll discuss this option in tomorrow's session. Just give the file name and give comma separated file and null field value single space. Okay, to handle the nullability. Okay. Now click on OK. We are copying from one file to another file. Now let's save this. Go to file, save. Copy. Says to copy stage. Okay. Click on save. So here we have one file that is the previous one. Now I am running the job. Click on compile and run. So it will ask us to compile when I click on run button. Compile and run. Okay. So here you can see 10, 10, 10. Sorry, 15 records, 15 records got loaded. So 15 from input records. Every file has loaded 15 records. You can see this EMP file. Okay. So here we can view the data. Okay. So now we will take a break for 8 minutes. We'll connect at 8:30. Sorry, at 11:30. Okay. So after that, we will discuss how to read data from multiple patterns. Data read from multiple pattern files. Okay. So this is session 1 got completed. Okay, guys. Shall we take a break for 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes? So now time is 11:23. So we'll assemble at 11:35. 12 minutes will take it. Okay.